you are gonna see some cool ass shit.
Yeah, you don't want two Flavor Flays.
Heart transplants, brain surgeries. I've seen it all.
Dude, that's fucking dope.
Walk up and just get it, whatever it is.
Yeah, brother.
I'm trying not to laugh, bro, but Josh is fucking killing me.
Guess what Navy SEALs do, motherfucker? They communicate and they're on the same fucking page.
Whoa.
3, 2, 1. We're rolling.
All right, welcome back to the Happy Hoodlums podcast, everybody. It's your boy Kemper Woodruff, the Happy Hoodlum himself, and Zachary. He's not flexing today. He's just going big chin on him. All right, Mr. Zachary Sampson, Hercules himself in the flesh. Yep, there goes his neck. All right, yeah, that's like a rock robot, son.
Fuck yeah, bro.
But I guess to kick it off, there's something that I was kind of thinking about, and that's how people really feel underqualified because their accolades on paper don't make them, they're not confident enough in their accomplishment, you know, despite the knowledge base that they might have about something, you know?
Yeah.
And it made me realize, you know, never discredit heart, you know, because your heart will always outweigh your accolades. And if you show up, you know, even if you're the dumbest person in that room, that's a good room to be in for you, you know, at whatever level you can get to. Because realistically, it's not like you're going to be able to pay, say like, I've been on my Wes Watson shit, following his like masterminds that he's been doing and just kind of observing like his business structure. Best I can from the outside, right? And I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, I would love to go to one of those like masterminds at his mansion. And I think it's like 26 grand or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's an expensive thing to go to because it's a part of a program he does, if I'm correct in my understanding. But it led me to this thought. I was like, I would love to be there and be able to like speak, you know? And I was kind of wondering, like, I wonder what the people are like there, you know, that I would be like in a group with, you know, they got to be some accomplished individuals. And it kind of made me recognize, like, maybe on paper, my shit isn't like the same as someone else, right? But the wisdom that I've gained by going through shit to become who I am is worth more than you can even pay for with riches. You know, it's kind of like if someone made a banging ass song and it never got radio play, never won a Grammy or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like an iconic piece of work, you know, that just stands for itself. And I think we really need to stand on who we are rather than what we have more, and we can get more with what we have because it's the intangible things, you know, and traits that really draw those circumstances to you. And it's also what prepares you to take the best that opportunity can kind of afford you. A lot to digest, huh?
Well, not necessarily a lot to digest. It's just thinking about a response. Like that's mostly fucking because I can't just like
shoot that shit from the hip, Zach. Come on, man.
I can't do that because like I listen to what you say and then I think about it. I don't think about it while I'm listening to you. Otherwise, I don't listen to you. If I'm thinking about other shit while someone's talking at me, I'm not even comprehending what they're saying.
I fuck with that.
But like I've had a similar feeling recently, like a feeling of complete unaccomplishment. Like, because I feel like in terms of where I was, in terms of success coming out of college, I was much closer to where I wanted to be in terms of my goals, opposed to now. Right. And so like, how so?
How so?
Well, coming out of college, I felt like I was closer to getting video work and editing work because that's what I was doing. It's what I was like primarily focused on. And now I feel like I'm so far, and then I also feel like I had a really clear direction, right, coming out of college. And now I'm in this point of like, I don't know where the fuck I'm going, and I don't know if what I'm doing currently is sustainable long term for the things that I want, right? And so like going and doing personal training is a great like thing to do in the meantime, but it's not a long-term career because of the amount of work you have to put in for the amount of money you get back. It's like it's not proportionate in my opinion.
At the level that you're doing it at.
Yeah. And so in terms of like to get more out of it, I would have to go to school for like exercise science, and that's some shit that I'm kind of just not interested in. It's like,
Bro,
that's
I think
a
that's
lot more
limiting
fucking
belief.
school.
I hate to say it, I think that's a limiting belief, bro.
You could probably do it fucking without it, but it's gonna be a lot harder to fucking do, for sure.
No, just do it for you. You know, like be the final product, and then people will just be like, "Bro, look at you." Like
That's
you know
great
what I mean?
and all, but like you're not going to be able to sell somebody if you haven't been able to do it to other people. You know what I'm saying? Like if you can't produce success and results for other people and then show that, regardless of how good you look, it doesn't mean shit.
I'm just saying you sell to them what was helpful to you, you know, and the people that are able to be helped and are committed to doing what you're doing will figure it out, you know, and through your system.
Well, that's why
But
I'm
anyways,
also saying
continue.
that it's not sustainable long term.
Yeah, continue. Yeah, I'm
So
just trying to throw that out there just so you don't put a roadblock in your mind, because that comes back to that thing that I was saying about accolades. You know what I mean?
that's what
It's
I'm
like,
also bringing that up for, is because it's like I don't feel like I could get an editing job because of my lack of editing work. On top of like, I don't think that being a personal trainer long term is gonna be set me up to where I want to be because of my lack of fucking one experience, but also two education and shit like that. So it's like, I don't know.
well, I don't know. My game plan's always been make enough money that we can keep ourselves sustained and we can make content together. You can get paid adequately enough to do that, and it'll afford you the ability to do whatever else you want to do. So that's always been my plan, at least. So my plan involves your plan without you knowing about my plan, or at least I've told you that before.
Well, here's the
But
thing, bro. Like, if
it's
our
in the
plan
works.
is to make content, we got to do more of that. Fuck everything
Yeah,
else. We should be
yeah.
focusing more on that. Cause like, and if your plan involves me, I need to know more about the fucking plan. And I'm not gonna
Well,
do this
sometimes
blind faith bullshit. I don't fuck with that. I hate that shit.
you gotta
No,
just
I
incubate
will
it.
not.
You
I
gotta
will not.
incubate it.
I
I
cannot
had
stand that. I do not
I
hate
had
blindly following people. You can't get me to. You cannot ever
you're,
get me to believe in that.
that's why I didn't tell you. You don't even need to know about it. It's like God will set you up with a blessing over here, and you don't even know. You just think you're lost in the woods, bro. And
That's
then
why I
all
don't
of a sudden,
fuck with the whole God idea. Fuck that. I hate blindly following shit. And if you can't tell me what the fuck's going on, I get madly frustrated and it gets annoying, and then I stop caring about whatever's going on. And then like I'm serious, bro. That's how it happens. It's like if someone like, okay, for example, right? It's like if someone can't keep me informed on what their ideas are or their projects are, I get so uninvested. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. You
well,
clearly
look,
don't like, you're not down for it.
I got like 1,000,001 things that I'm always working on. So when I tell you too many things at once, you're always like, "Oh, bro, you're shooting yourself in the dick." And I'm
You
like,
are.
"Dude, well, I get it, but look, it'll all work out in time. I promise
How
you,
much
dude."
faster do you think you can move if you focused on 1,000 things instead of 1,000,001? So
Well,
much
see, you're
faster.
going back to the two rabbits. You know,
Yeah,
man, the
I
chess
will always
was
come
two
back to
rabbits
that.
or none.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I will always come
but
back to that.
I'm just saying, dude, I'm in the middle of doing some masterful shit right now. but I'm focused, just like you always told me, focus. You know what I mean? And so I've been incubating that, but it's just been in the back burner. So you just calm yourself. Don't let your that's ego tripping, bro. You can't be
It's not
mad
ego
about that.
tripping because I
It's a
get
little bit ego
irritated
tripping.
because I'm
It's a
sitting where I'm sitting doing absolutely dick, right? I don't know
No,
what the
you're
fuck's going on. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know, like I have no idea how I can make this shit move forward. And
you're improving.
I'm just sitting here with
Like
my
that's
hands in on my fucking dick. I don't know
well,
what the
see,
fuck I'm doing. That's what I'm
no,
saying.
that's perfectly fine, bro. Because you'll always
That's
be a
not perfectly
talented
fine with me.
player, even with and exactly. You just keep improving yourself. I'm gonna keep improving myself, and then it's all gonna meet in the middle.
Yeah, but why aren't
That's
we focusing on the shit we're supposed to be like coordinated on? You know what I'm saying?
well, see, our viewers are gonna laugh at us, but this is perfectly fine because this is how greatness happens, right?
That's not perfectly
These
fine.
are the constructive arguments.
That's not perfectly fine. We should be fucking diving head first into shit. Like if we want to do something, we should be doing that something. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed. But I also believe in like don't rush too quickly to be in the place that you're not. You know, like I don't feel right now that as I'm just in this beginning phase of being consistent with the things that I've become consistent with in the last few months, that I deserve to be saying the shit that I'm going to say. And so I've been writing it down and constructing it. You know what I mean? Keeping a list, checking it twice, and letting you focus on your fitness shit, you know, while I do my real estate shit. So then real estate will afford us enough money that we can then wham bam move on from there. You know what I'm saying?
I just don't want to
It's all
rely on that real estate shit. That's what I'm saying.
it's
It's
all
like
gonna
I
get
want to
easier.
I want to rely on the business and us to
Well,
make money through that rather than
exactly.
relying on us to invest fucking all of our time and effort into building our own jobs and careers than to put all that money right back rather than what fucking
No,
getting our shit to
I'm
run,
talking about
operate,
multiple
and
streams of
function.
income, bro. And so the whole build the business thing, you're gonna help promote all that shit through handling the media stuff. We'll outsource where we need to or learn the programs that we need to learn to be able to sell those things and then just run it that way. So it'll make money. But in the meantime, rather than you feeling bogged down with shit, I'm like, fuck it. I think about it like building a team, right? Building a team. And so I'm like, right now, it's just we're an army of two. But we're going to have more motherfuckers. And it's not just going to be from that one business that we do. We're going to have multiple streams of income. And had we just dove into this, I would have doubled back on the real estate shit to have another stream of income with it anyways. So this is just you take me finding a way to take what was available to me first. You know what I mean? And then integrate it. So it's all good. Sometimes we feel like we're lost in the woods, but you're not lost in the woods. The fact is, you're walking to a point where you get a better vantage and a better view, and some shit happens as you're clearing through the brush and you're putting that fucking work in every day. And then you're like, oh shit, it's everything that I ever wanted. Why? Because you knew that you were pointed in the right fucking direction. You just keep walking.
Fucking, it
Promise
feels
you.
like I'm turned around and I'm walking backwards. So the fucking trail's
Sometimes it
not
feels like
going anywhere forward. It's
hey, bro.
going, it went forward and then I did a fucking horseshoe and now I'm going right the fuck back. That's what's
Nah, bro, it's
happening.
faith. It's faith. I'm telling you.
Fuck that.
And
I don't, I'm,
you don't have to
as
have the
I've gotten
Bible
older, I've
with
stopped
it.
believing in fate simply because I hate the fact that people are like, they give up control and they're like, there's nothing that I need to worry about other than just fucking living. And I
That's
have started fucking hating that because if you just live and you don't do shit,
F-A-I-T-H, motherfucker, faith,
well, faith
not
too.
faith.
I can't believe in faith because every time I've brought up faith, people believe, well, or people say, well, if you have faith, it's not believing. And it like,
No,
you got to
faith
know.
without work is dead. And you can believe in faith even more the more that you work for it. The work is the evidence of the faith, bro. That's where people get it fucked up, bro.
I don't know.
People try to use it in a more convenient way to skirt around the fact that they got to do some shit. But no, faith really is falling in love with the work and doing the work with the understanding, knowledge, and belief. And most importantly, the feeling that keeps it alive, that dream is going to be fulfilled because you're already fulfilling it, you know? So it's inevitable. And so that's faith, bro, in a nutshell. And it all requires work. Think about it, bro. It even requires work to try and not have faith, to try and convince yourself and shut down your belief. Like if you're a lazy motherfucker and you're sitting there, there's always some good idea that pops up. And I know this, bro, because I was a super fucking stoner, like super duper, had some of the greatest fucking ideas, but they come and they go. You know what I mean? It's like being a musician and not making the song when you get the inspiration.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You fuck it all off. Faith requires work. That's all I'm saying. And it's real. And whether you attach that to any kind of religion or not, it's real, you know? Even if it's just faith through your own consciousness and in your own belief. The weird thing is we don't know why we believe in some shit. I think we're just like learning who we are as we go through what we're going through. It's like new levels of awareness of ourself. And it seems to me, in a strange way, it's like people that really make it, you know, like really make it. And I don't mean just like in a money way or in a status way or whatever, but like someone that's really like living a fulfilling life to themselves, you know, it's almost like they really just empowered themselves with enough knowledge to push that shit to the side and trust the wisdom that was in their heart all along, that they really are who they say they are. They really are what they dreamed of all along, you know, and what they set out to be from the beginning, and like realized it. And then there's people that don't believe that shit and they wind up fucking themselves off. You know what I mean? Doing some janky shit and get stuck in like this like karmic fucking cycle where they gotta like go through the same shit again and again and again until they learn otherwise, learn better. That's how I see it, at least from observation, and actually from my life too. But I just feel like I'm kind of like where I'm going. I've had so much like promise and insight given to me on it, and like I've cultivated that shit for so long as I've been going through difficult seasons in my fucking life, that it's like that's where the discrediting of where I'm at currently can come in, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm learning like showing up anyways is very important, you know? And that's why when we do these podcasts, right? I'm not shy about this shit. You know, we can have these dialogues because this is the shit that people are going to go through that they'll never fucking see on camera. You know?
Yeah.
Like as they build a team, this is dealing with different personalities, different mind states, you know, and figuring out how to become cohesive on it for the greater purpose, you know? So that's what people are going to run into down the line anyway. So I'm not shy about that shit. And this is in some way us giving them our best that we have right now. And that's really what it's all about. You know, truly provide what you can. I feel like you're just a boiling pot of hot fucking water inside right now. I can just see it. What's on your mind? Speak freely, brother.
I don't know. I mean, other than all the shit I've already said, I kind of like I don't know. Personally, I'm in a very frustrated point in my life at the moment. Uh, like I said earlier, I'm feeling extremely unaccomplished, and
Mm,
so uh, it has me thinking and rethinking a lot of things, a lot of decisions, a lot of uh, different ideas and situations and wants and desires and things like that. And so, uh, and it's made me very uncertain about where I want to be. And
mm.
so that's where my mind like is currently. And so it's been not only tough to keep myself disciplined on the things that I've set myself to, but also it's been hard to figure out what I want to do and where I want to be.
You know, my mom told me something that always stuck with me. She said, "Never has a mistake been made where a discovery also wasn't found."
Yeah.
And you know, I kind of combine that with like I was watching the Jocko podcast one time, and he said the word "good," and it was like very
Yeah.
Jocko. He was like, "Good. You don't know where you're at. Good." Like, and it was like that whole philosophy of like, well, good, because I think right now this is really putting you in that position where, and what a perfect topic that I had somehow brought up at the beginning of this podcast, of like not looking for your reasoning in the physical, looking at it like inside. Judge where you're at really by like your traits of who you are, because the way I see you, bro, is like if I you're someone that if anyone gave you a direction or you chose a direction of any kind, bro, and you headed that way, with your skill set and your personality and your mental fortitude, you'll fucking be profitable there. You'll get something there, you know, and you'll elevate consistently. And it's just a matter of time. And so I guess what I'm saying is when you look inside that's where you find all your true fulfillment. And I've learned that especially recently because I have a lot of hardships going on in my life right now too. And even like, bro, finding out my punk ass stepmom is trying to sue me for undue pain and suffering. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, didn't even let me go to my dad's own fucking wake unless I signed over all the rights to my dad's fucking estate and all types of shit, snaky stuff that she's done. You know what I mean? Despite torturing me and my brother psychologically, like all throughout my childhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you add that on top of, you know, stuff in regards to like having a child and not being able to be as involved as I would like at this moment. You know what I mean? In that process. And, you know, making sure that my body's strong and that I have food when I'm working with like a fucking bare minimum ass budget. You know what I mean? Then on top of that, cars breaking down. So you got to juggle the cars left and right, taking care of my mom's stuff, and it's just layers on layers on layers. And when you're going through it for a long time, functioning, even like having a lack of like intimacy and true like companionship in your life, feeling alone as fuck, like that shit wears on you if you let it. And it's like each day, this was something that I was thinking about is grace and pain, like the results can look really similar and a lot of people get them confused. Like when you see someone who's like, because I've been like looking at like my body as it's transforming and stuff, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because the only way that I could really get, rather than escape the pain, it's like get through the pain each day is to go to the gym, and not only to go to the gym, but say like to do my schooling, have things that I can do that are progressing me, you know, despite feeling like all these other things aren't going your way or holding you back, you know, like something's got to give in that situation, but it just hasn't gotten there yet, you know, knowing that you're still moving forward. And I was thinking about it, and you know, of course, me being heavily influenced by like Wes Watson right now, as I've been listening to him helping me keep my mind strong, I was like, maybe the body of someone who's been through a lot of pain, like people look at it and see, oh, this is pain because it sounds good, like when they say that, and that is like a reality. But really, bro, this is grace. You know, like each day, I believe that God gives us grace, just enough to get us through. You know what I mean? He'll give you grace to get through your situation. And you'll get through it whether you're just sitting on the couch or whether you're actually doing something about it. The end result will be different over time. But really, it's like, this isn't like pain. This is me finding grace to like endure the other pain. Like, this is grace, you know, that I found something that didn't hurt, you know, that was a way for me to process without, you know, damaging myself. You know, that's grace. And you got to seek that over time. Like, you got to seek to do something with grace, to make use of it, you know, not just sit in the same spot, you know, because if you feel like you're just in the fetal position, you know, on this trail of life, rather than being doing something with that daily gift of the energy, that if you transmute it, you know, if you actually don't avoid it, but you just use it and go through with it anyways, you know, you cut another couple vines out of your way and eventually you get through the jungle, you know. But if you just sit there long enough, the shit's going to grow around you, it's going to get thicker and it's going to be harder, you know, and you're going to have a harder time justifying your belief to yourself if you're using that outside gauge of like, I'm not there yet because of accolades, you know, milestones that you feel you should have that you don't. Doesn't mean that it feels better or that you're not feeling what you're feeling. But at the end of the day, it's like, is this, am I making this worse because I want to figure it all out right now and know that I'm figuring it out and going in the right direction? Or am I going to go on faith? You know, am I really going to go on that belief and that inner knowing that like this shit is right for me? You know? And it's a weird thing, bro. It's weird because most people don't step back and observe themselves and observe the signs that are given through their own fucking mind. You know what I mean? It's like, have you ever done something and something in your head is like, that might not be the best idea, and you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyways, and you do it, and then you look back and you're like, I shouldn't have did that shit, I knew better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like one of those situations in that, I'll give you a for instance. Like, in my life, you know, I was having all that like short-term memory loss. I couldn't hardly walk a straight line. I was constantly getting dizzy, like I was about to pass out. The lights still bother me sensitivity wise, but it was like really bad, and my tinnitus was going fucking crazy. I was having those like back problems to the point where it was like I was just weak, bro. I was malnourished and heartbroken, all kind of shit with my dad dying and my chick left and all that kind of shit. The situation was fucked up. And so when I found the gym, because I had gone through that for so long, being broke on top of it, all that kind of shit, And I want to add too, I was smoking mad weed and cigarettes, and it was fucking me off. So there was really no way that I was able to be confident in what was happening. I just felt like all the shit was going wrong. Despite my best effort to help other people for years and years and years, right? And when I went into the gym, I was actually like, I had to finally face this like fear of inadequacy,
Mm-hmm.
and like self-judgment, because I was really comparing myself to other people's performance, and I had, because all my friends were like super athletes, super strong. My best friend, bro, Paul, rest in peace, bro. Paul could literally bench like 350 pounds, and he was only like 5'5". And this was when he was like 19, 20 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my friends were dumbass strong early, all of them football players and shit like that. So the benchmark that I have for myself, I wasn't there. I wasn't hitting. I never had. And after having to go through like physical therapy for my spine and stuff, I already told you I had started working out with like super, super light weights. They had me like planked out on a yoga ball using like 3-pound weights. And I was like, man, this ain't shit. They give me a 3-pound weight, bro. And it was killing me. These exercises they had me do. But it humbled me enough where I was willing to start. From a bitch ass place. You know what I mean? Just from a straight, in my mind, like a straight fucking bitch level. Right? And I just had to accept that that was where I was at. And I was not making it better because of my attitude towards myself and my situation. I really had no gratitude for what it was showing me. But once I got in the gym and I started working, and I got to thank you because you also helped make the gym a little bit more welcoming to me,
Yeah.
And so I was going, and I just kept going. And I started light, bro. You saw me where you were like, dude, you could do way more than that. But I was like, nah, bro, I'm just running my program. I know where I'm at right now. And over time, like, it's become so fulfilling to me that it was like, all I knew each day that I showed up was like, this is what I'm supposed to do. Everything else in my life has, it can go any which way. It got even more complicated from there, with me about to have a baby and all that kind of stuff, Like, got more complicated, more lawsuits and shit like that, My family all getting torn up from my dad's death and bullshit behind that, bunch of janky ass shit happening. And despite all of that, bro, I just knew like this one thing is what I'm supposed to do. And then this observation kicked in. And this is why the whole Wes Watson thing is so impactful to me. Is I realized why I've been doing this podcast and sharing these stories and helping to big other people up is I've always wanted to be a life coach. I feel like that's really something that I've really been impacted by and have been meant to do. And I've done it for free for years, bro. Like ever since I was literally a child, having to talk to my mom sometimes, counsel my mom. Then, my best friend dies when we're way young, I'm having to be there for her, help counsel her, help counsel all the kids in the neighborhood, help my friends out. I can't tell you how many times I didn't have shit, but I wound up paying other people's bills, keeping other people's lights on, And that's not, you know, necessarily what I might have should been doing, you know, at that at that time, you know, because I see those people and a lot of them still have the same problems. But it wasn't like I just gave 'em money. It was like I gave them game with that shit, you know, and I was really researching. And I've been researching motivational speakers and all that stuff for years and years and years. And so just over time, bro, you're gonna realize like you're gonna have that step back moment where you go, oh, so just follow what feels right for you right now. You know what I mean? And keep improving yourself. And you'll have that moment. Follow your heart, whatever you want to do, you know? And so like if we need to do more video content, we can do more video content. You know, we just got to figure it out, integrate it, and make it happen. But don't give up that dream and don't judge yourself too soon on it, because you're going to have that moment where you go, oh, this is why it works. And it's going to work because it's natural to me and it feels like what I'm supposed to be doing, you know? Was that too long-winded a rant, or did that make sense? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it made sense.
I think you're on the edge of an epiphany, bro. That's really what I think.
Personally, throughout my life, things have been way too easy for me in a lot of senses. Like, there's been a lot of difficulties, and there's been way more easy shit. And I think part of it is I've never had people who are hard on me about shit. And so now I'm way too hard on myself about shit. And so I don't think. And now, like, I'll be honest, I get I've told a few people this, but when I get too much praise for how good I do at something, I notice that I get less motivated to be better at it. And I don't know why.
Kind of self-destructive.
I don't
That's
know.
self-destructive.
I don't know why
Bro,
I do it. I don't know why. I don't like it. But I prefer, like, if you're going to tell me I'm good at something, just tell me once. But don't fucking overinflate it. Don't make me feel like I'm fucking amazing at it. Just tell me, yo, dude, you're really good at this. And I'll be like, cool, thank you. And then I'll fucking keep doing what I'm doing. But when people tell me that I'm good at some shit and like make me feel fucking all of this, I'm like, I don't know why I do that. It happens and I noticed it and I fucking hate it. But that's one of the reasons why I'm being so hard on myself, is because I don't have other people to do it for me. And
I gotta give you props for being vulnerable on that shit. Is there something else you want to say? Continue.
no, it was just gonna be more shit about that. But you can say it. Yeah.
I'll just interject and just say, I think it's kind of like there's a couple of facets to it. One, check the sources, right? Say somebody who's never made a video, never been to film school, doesn't really know the technical aspects of film, tells you, oh yeah, that's fucking great. They don't really know what they're talking about, right? So to them, they might be like, that's the best thing ever, because they are judging through the lens of what they can accomplish.
Yeah.
Right? Film that they can make is way down here, and you're like way beyond that, you know? But to you, you're like, A, I don't grow from that, you know? And B, I can't trust it, which is really the second phase of it, right? Someone's nice to you all the time, and doesn't really say what they mean. And you know, I learned this because I tried to encourage so many people, because I know who they are and I saw their potential, but I didn't recognize they have such a fucked up self-image that when you only tell them positive things, they don't recognize that like they actually can trust it. That what you're saying is valid. because they see where they're at. And if they know they're doing shit that doesn't align with them in their heart and soul, they know they're fucking up and you don't tell them that they're fucking up. You just only give them praise. They don't trust the shit. They reject it. And they also primarily reject it because it doesn't align with their self-image. Your subconscious will throw out anything that isn't in line with your personal identity, you know? And so part 3 of this is kind of what I call the keep it real scale. You know what I mean? So I don't believe you can be too hard on yourself. I believe that we are literally hardwired to seek goodness, or like greatness, you know, the highest of positivity, but you can only find that by addressing whatever the lowest quality shit that you tendency wise that you have, you know, because that's what's hindering you from really experiencing this, you know. And so life is gonna, you can get going quick, but eventually you're gonna catch a wobble, and where you stumble, that stumbling point is where that keep it real meter needs to be tightly fucking calibrated, where you kick in with brutal honesty and say, no, I could totally be doing this better. I'm totally not giving my all.
Yeah.
You know? And, you know, I think about the keep it real scale like a literal scale. Because back when I was selling weed, right, I had a scale and I kept it on me for too long, right? And I was going through life doing shit, running from this one, jumping fences, partying, all that kind of shit. And I kept the same scale for a long time, and I fucked up the calibration. So I was putting good product on it, you know, I was putting my weed on there, but I was giving people more weed than I should have because my scale was fucked up. So it was telling me a gram when it was like a gram and a quarter. You know, and it took me a second to figure out that I was selling myself short, you know?
Yeah.
And so your profits don't really match what you're seeing with your eyes. And it's like, no, I know I should have this, but I'm seeing this as the result of this. And that's why you got to make sure your scale is good. You can't get a fucked up scale, you know? And you can't trust people or even yourself if you tell yourself something's good when you know it could be better, or when you know it's not good. You know, there's a difference between your final product being what you're looking for and it not being what you're looking for, but it being good that you showed up and gave it an attempt. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you don't identify with that second thing where it's like, this is not what I want, but I did show up, you're not going to get to the other phase where it's like you're able to move beyond that by educating yourself, by trying again and improving your program for how you try if it's flawed. You know? And so I think right now you're reprogramming and restructuring your life, you know? And so I think, you know, on the one hand, it's like, and this is something we all do, right? You're going through something completely human. The problem is sometimes we don't get mad about shit that we should be mad about. That we should be like, no, I can't tolerate this. But then it goes back to the grace thing. How do I take and find grace in this moment? You know? So I can move from this like helpless state, you know, where I feel helpless down here, to feeling empowered, you know? Well, from helplessness up throughout like the range of negative emotions, anger feels way better than helplessness because you feel like you got some power to do something. You're like, fuck that. And you take your power back, right? But you're going to burn out if you stay there. It's not a far cry, you know, to get from anger up to hope, right? And hope, to get to hope from anger, that's where your plan kind of starts to kick in. We're like, oh, That's where the reformulation happens. Well, maybe if I try this, that's how your anger turns to hope. You know, maybe if I seek this other way of doing something, you know, and then hope turns to empowerment when you put the work in consistently enough to give it a try, and you praise yourself for putting it through that trial run. But the keep it real scale is still not broken of, is this really right? You know, is it right in my heart? Is it right in the final product that I'm looking for? Can I see the result moving in the direction that I want? And can I feel myself moving there as I'm going? You know, even if it's like this big. You know, when I started going to the gym again, it was like I was doing this much result wise in the beginning phase, but I was like, yes, like it felt like, all right, I'm heading in the right direction. I did it, you know? And over time that shit's gonna just get better and better and better. You'll redefine, you'll research, reformulate, and get a different result. So don't just get stuck in the phase of being overly analytical, because we're like two different ends of the spectrum, me and you, right? The way that we operate. And this can even be taken down to like science, right? You're always looking for like science and like what the highest standard of science says in proving something right. And I'm like, nah, fuck that. Let's go for originality and let science be like, whoa, this is a breakthrough that we didn't know was possible, right? And so maybe you're just being called over to the wild side a little bit of doing that, you know, a little more, where me, I'm going a little bit more towards your side of like the strategy. Because if we're all overcoming our natural tendencies, that's really like how we create harmony, balance, and evolve, you know, in a balanced way. Because everything in the universe, if we look at it, it's all about harmony, you know, one thing feeding into the other. And so where I'm super duper like scattered or eccentric or, you know, believing in, you know, just faith and or blindly, as you would say, right? In my plan, just because I know it in my heart, I'm going for it, right? I have to move more this way, become a little more structured and a little more formulaic. You might need to tear down a little bit more structure and kind of give yourself a little bit more leeway for that ingenuity and that intuitive, you know, guidance to come through you. And on the other side of that, you'll discover what you're looking for. And it'll be an internal discovery as you're doing external work.
I really don't know what you're expecting me to say to that.
I'm not
Uh,
expecting you to
so
say a structured answer. I'm just wondering what's on your mind from that. If you're like, that's complete bullshit, I mean, you can always say that too. Be like, you think what you want, motherfucker.
well, it's not that I don't. I think it's bullshit. Because you probably have. There's probably some validity to it. Um, I just don't know. I'm in like the beginning phases of all of these feelings, so I have no idea uh what needs to happen regardless of if it's structured or unstructured. And so if it means like being less structured, fucking my logical brain is like, I don't even know how to fucking do that because it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to me.
You got
Like,
writer's block.
I can't
You got
put like
writer's
certain
block on
things.
life.
Like, I can't just wing shit. Personally,
That's where you're fucking up, bro.
it's because my
Winging it.
brain overthinks winging it.
Yeah. See, dude, that's not living. I gotta tell you, bro. Look.
Well, hold on. Let me tell you this. This is the fucking
All right.
reason. Growing up, I was never pushed to just figure things out. And this is part of the reason why I say like my life in a lot of ways was really easy, and I recognize that for a lot of in a lot of areas. I was never pushed to just figure things out. So like for example, if I wanted to build something, right? And my dad was just close by and I love my dad to death, he would end up becoming such a part of that project. I wouldn't do anything. It would be him doing all the work. It would be him cutting and measuring the wood and nailing it together. There'd be nothing for me to do to figure it out or mess up. And then now everything then I had to just watch and see what it was rather than experiencing it and just figuring it out on my own. And so like there's been very few situations in my life where I've had to go through that process on my own. And so I'm not like very well equipped for situations where I have to just like quickly adapt to it because it's not in my skill set at the moment. And so
I don't know how to say this other than it's a survival instinct, bro. Like literally, you got writer's block on life right now, right? And this is why I say fuck all the supposed to be's, bro. Like
I'm
life
not
will
even thinking about supposed to be's. I'm literally thinking about like, what do I even want to do? I don't know what I want to do.
You're not able to see it because you're in a shitty spot, right? Feeling wise, you can't even see the options that are really available to you. And that's why it's like sometimes when you don't know what to write or something, go take a fucking shower. You go to take a shower and it's like, boom, something hits you and you're like, oh, this is a great idea. Why? Because you were just enjoying a shower. No, it's because enjoying put you in a better state, you know? So the shower might have been the activity you were doing, but it put you in a better feeling state to where you look back at this and you're seeing a whole other portion of the problem. Like if you think about it like a spectrum, right? Like a spectrum of light. Like you're over here only seeing what's in the red zone, right? Maybe your answer is all the way over here in like this purple zone on the other end of the spectrum, but you can't even fucking see it. Your eyes are just tuned over here because if you think about it rather than color or like negativity, you can only see what's in this quadrant, you know? But there's all this other shit over here, which is what you're really trying to figure out and get to. And you can't put the fucking puzzle pieces together. And that's why I'm saying you have to have a program for while your shit is fucked up that will give you enough consistency and fulfillment, you know, which is why exercise hijacks your system, gets you out of your mind and puts you into your body, you know? And then if you're exercising a lot, you know, well, then maybe implement another kind of exercise, stretching, you know, meditation, whatever it is, bro. You gotta just hijack your system a little bit or just say, fuck it, you know? For right now, fuck that shit. What did you put in work today on? You know, if you're doing the shit towards your personal training and actually taking care of your own fitness, working on your diet, making sure that all your boxes are checked, you know, that it's like, dude, shit can go kind of haywire, but you at least know you still got this. You didn't let it throw you off of investing in yourself properly. And investing in yourself properly comes down to how you talk too. It's your mental diet, you know? And that's why I say that story is an inconvenient, limiting belief. And we all have them. We all have them. You know? You are fully equipped to deal with all that shit, bro. Fucking promise you. You know? And right now it's like there aren't necessarily like time constraints or things that you can really put on it. So your rational mind can't figure it out. But you're being called out of rationality and into intuition. You're fucking way too rational, and so you're being called over to the wild side of intuition. And that's where creativity is, bro. There's no competition in creativity. I don't care how saturated a market is with products that may be somewhat similar or whatever. There is room for your dreams. Everything that you want is like you created that shit. You defined it. It's your purpose to go and get it. And it's there for you. You just got to chase that motherfucker down. And sometimes chasing it down is like being willing to say, fuck it, I am where I am. I don't even know where I am. But I know in here, in this story that I'm telling, I'm going to there. Whatever your dream is that you write up in the stars, bro. It doesn't matter how many reroutes you gotta fucking take. You'll learn something all along the way, but you just never fucking give up on that shit, bro. Keep working towards it, you know? So determine the end from the beginning. This shit is all biblical. But anyways, I know that's gonna just flip your wig. So
Yeah, that's
just
not gonna.
know.
That's not even gonna touch me in any way.
Oh yeah.
So fucking. But well, I like. There is no end for me right now. I don't know what that is. I don't know where that is. That's the issue. It's like when I talked about feeling like I'm going backwards in comparison to where I was when I was in college, I had a goal. I had a goal that was so clear, like I knew I wanted to do it. And I knew that that was it. And now that's not so obvious to me anymore. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like I'm starting at ground zero in terms of what my goals are and what I want to end up at, not necessarily like ground zero of like, because obviously I'm not. There's life experience, there's knowledge, there's wisdom, and all of that shit combined on top of everything, but I just don't know where I'm going to take all of that.
Well, I think sometimes, and it's something that a lot of people don't want to hear, but this kind of goes back to that whole leaning on talent thing. You know, that a lot of people lean on talent until talent can't take them where they want to go, or they realize they won't get there on talent alone. And you can substitute talent for just making use of what's there to be used at the time, right?
Yeah.
Resource wise. And if you don't make use and put that to use, all of a sudden that belief, you know, just starts going downhill. And you may want it, but it's like the actions that you've done and taken towards getting to it are contradicting it. The actions you're taking are telling your subconscious, I don't want it. I don't believe it's possible. And so you wind up going through life and you veer off the path that you were on, right? But the truth is you can never give up on that fucking dream. It'll haunt you. It'll haunt you. And so right now where you're at is like in the middle of the desert, right? And you're all alone and you're like, fuck. You know, it's hard for me to believe right now. And when shit came to you too easy, you know, and you don't fucking respect it, that's where we lead ourselves to where it's absolutely fucking asinine, backwards, fucking crazy on paper to believe in this shit. And that's when you're in the perfect place to believe in it. That's the whole fucking contradiction between the whole shit. You know? Once you get fucking lost, you're in the perfect place to be found. You know? And so you're just like, now you gotta believe. Belief is all you fucking have. That's where you're at. And the question is, do I give up on it or do I reformulate? That's the test in life, bro. And everyone goes through it. I don't care how good a beginning they started with or how bad a beginning they started with. Everyone gets to that fucking point, bro. You know? And that's why I say all the stories of like why you're in this place are limiting fucking beliefs. Don't fucking rationalize with that bitch ass shit. You are where you are. Are you gonna believe or not? That's the fucking where the rubber meets the road. Bottom line, right there. Will you have faith with nothing going right for you, nothing appearing to work out on paper, but it's in here. And it's in here and it won't fucking die. And that's the shit that people need to hear. And I commend you, bro, for fucking laying it out there. And I love that we do this podcast because this is fucking real life shit right here. This is what the fuck people go through that they don't talk about. This is what fucking makes people kill themselves. For real. This is what makes them want to give the fuck up. That's the test of if you really deserve it or not. Will you believe in yourself when there's everyone telling you no? That's why, like, my whole fucking life, I've had all kinds of people tell me that my fucking big ass dreams and things like that, that I like too many different things, that it won't work. Fuck all them. With love. Fuck you. I don't believe in that shit. I don't subscribe to that fucking thought. Because what I feel in here, and what I'm doing now that I learned to love the work, because I leaned on talent for so long that I fucking crippled myself in every area of my life, and I gave until the whole fucking ship gave out. Guess what? I found a motherfucking piece, rode that bitch to shore, made a whole new motherfucking plan, because now I know how to navigate the ocean. Because I did it on that one motherfucking piece. And guess what? What they'll see in time and what they'll say in time, they'll be like, bro, you were fucking right. And it's not going to make sense on paper. Not until I write that motherfucking story out, but guess where it's written? It's written in that jail cell that you put yourself in your fucking mind when you feel caged by life, you know? But it's a box that you built around yourself, bro. You know? Don't blame none of that shit. Everything is fucking irrelevant to that bottom line point, bro. Why the fuck I do this? I do this because I believe, motherfucker. Because it makes me feel good when I do it. Because there's something inside of me that tells me I can do it. That I was supposed to do it. I'm not fucking giving up on this. That's the real shit, bro. That heart-wrenching shit. Bro, I was at the gym today. I've been going through it, dog. I'm fucking crying. Sitting there just fucking doing the row machine. Normally, I stop at like 500 meters, take a quick break, and then I do another 500 meters, bro. I was crying. I was hurting, bro. It was like I just went into this zone where it was like the only thing that I had was this emotion that I was just sitting with and sitting in that was just fucking sickening, bro. And, you know, I got tears just rolling down my face, bro. And I went for like 2,000 meters straight, bro. 15 minutes straight, just fucking busting that shit out. I actually did it in less than 15 minutes, but it was like right on the cusp, you know, 13, 14, right in there. But, you know, like, sometimes you just get to that place. And it's okay. Like, that's the place where you got to be okay. Like, you got to accept that you feel that way and fucking sit with it, you know? And work through it. Not find a way around it or a way that seems like it'll work so I don't have to deal with this shit. No, fuck all that. Because the bottom line is, will you believe now? Do you believe life is good when you feel like you're going to lose fucking everything? Who are you now? That's why I think that shit is so powerful. That's why the gym is fucking heaven, you know? It's finding a heavenly way through hell. That's the best way I can put it. That's why I say that's fucking grace. That's pain meeting grace. You know what I mean? And grace just taking you by the hand and you just being willing to walk that motherfucker out. You know? Because it's hard. And it hurts. And it's fucking deep. It's real deep. But that's where you gotta go. Otherwise, shit feels hollow. You know? Doesn't matter what you get in life. It's not gonna fucking fulfill you. And that's why I say, fuck all the accolades, bro. It's who I am. Because I'll pull up in some shit. People be like, who's in this fucking hoopty? And I'll drop some motherfucking life-changing game on your bitch ass. You know what I mean? And eventually they're going to see that shit and be like, damn, who's pulling up in that nice-ass old school? I'll be like, the same motherfucker that hopped out that hoopy on you, motherfucker. Because this is what I got to say, you know? And I might be saying it to you, but I'm saying it for you. Because I had to say it for me. You know? I had to say that same shit to myself. Nobody was saying that shit to me. But shout out to fucking Wes Watson for fucking coming through, bro. Because you put some Wes Watson on and you get on the fucking, you know, weights at the gym. Woo! He'll get your shit right, bro. It's like, there's this old Tupac song called Crazy. And in the end of it, he says, you ain't gotta be in jail to be doing time. And that's real shit. You know? So many people are doing time in their life, you know? Their life is their prison cell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they just feel trapped as fuck. You know, but in an interesting way, dude, going through all the shit I've been going through, I've been like cutting out more and more outside influences, you know? And just really wanting to know like who I really am as I go through this. Like if I went through this without YouTube or without movies, you know? Like who am I without that 2-hour chunk in my day that gets taken up by this, you know? Where I'm avoiding sitting with myself, you know? Because my head's spinning. Because I'm like, maybe in the same way, that's the gym of your mind, you know? In the same way the gym, you got to go through it with your body. That's like the gymnasium of thought, you know? Of character. Like, can you build, like, do you really like spending time with you? Do you really know you? Can you really build you with no outside influence? Can you really think for yourself? Who are you? You know? And you meet both sides of yourself, you know? You meet your doubt, and honestly, you meet your creator, you meet God, you meet your spirit in that spot. Where like, then you find out like, oh, I'm kind of like two-faced in a sense. Like when I'm believing from this like human perspective, I don't even see shit right. And then it's like this God perspective comes in that's like omnipresent that just knows like, nah, bro, that's not what it is. You know, you're thinking janky ass thoughts. Get out of that fucking place of your mind. And you realize who you are, like in your humanness, is running towards all these fucking fucked up habits of thought, you know? And then who you're supposed to be, who you're being called to be and drawn to, who's being drawn through you, who's having to go through these fucking gauntlets in your mind and in your life, you know, to really purify out those fucked up tendencies, bro. Over and over and over again until you realize, oh shit, that's what I'm doing. I tend to do this. I'm not going to do this anymore because I'm going to keep it in fucking check. Boom. That's where the level up is. That's where you define yourself. That's where your level of self-awareness is. You know? I definitely say you know a lot. I just noticed that.
You do.
But if you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? You got any final thoughts, though? We don't need to keep going on this Kemp Ramble Fest, even though that was a good one.
I don't have anything more to add, to be honest.
Well, then, motherfuckers, that's a wrap for tonight.
Boom.
I hope you learned something. I hope we gave you something real to digest, because we know that you're working through problems too. And I hope you know that we love you. And that we show up even when we're in a bad mood sometimes, when we don't feel fulfilled in our own lives, to try and make the best of it, to work through it together. And it's not always got to be together to come together. You just got to keep showing up. And so that imperfect action will get you there. And you just got to rock with it. So to everybody that's still pushing, keep on pushing. And to anybody that's falling down, get the fuck up and work. You know, put that work in because you're worth it. You're the outcome. And we love you.
Peace.
Peace.